Hello and welcome back to another episode of Monday Night Raw on TEW9, and we are back for a show that is going to include a World Tag Team title match, a Intercontinental title match, and Pete Dunne versus Sheamus in a street fight. So let's get straight into the show. And we open the show with a 57 rated pre-show match that had subpar wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. The Motor City Machine Guns defeated the Coffee Brothers in 9:15 when Chris Sabin pinned Joe Coffey with a skull and bones. Mark Coffey has got I believe it was a bicep strain, and he got that during main event. Nothing too serious, and if you're happy to hear that it wasn't too serious, please do leave a like down below. Comment what you think we should be aiming to do in the save. Who do you want to see us give a push to? Subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and let's jump into the next segment, which is another pre-show match. This one was a terrible one apparently. Katana Chance defeats Isla Dawn in 8 minutes 12 with a victory roll. It does get a 45 rating, so maybe not as harsh as terrible. And Katana Chance with a 48 rating in the ring, Isla Dawn with a 42. As I mentioned previously, Katana Chance is someone that I am considering giving a push to. And we've got one final pre-show match in which they had decent wrestling but not much heat. Omos defeats Dragon Lee, Ludwig Kaiser and Carlito in 11:37. when he pinned him with a claw. 62 rating for the match. Not ideal from Omos and Carlito with 46s, but Dragon Lee with another impressive performance. I'd kind of like to find something for Omos to do. I'm not entirely sure where he fits in, but it does feel like somebody as impressive physically as him, we should be able to find a spot for on the show, and hopefully we will be able to find that in the coming months. Let me know down below if you've got any ideas for what we could do with Omos. And the show opens, we go straight into a match, and in a decent match, the War Raiders defeat the Judgement Day in 14:05 when Ivar pinned JD McDonough. It says the ropes were used illegally for leverage. That wasn't meant to be the case. What was meant to be the case is Damian Priest running in to attack Finn Balor, which distracted JD, and then the Viking Experience was hit on him. I don't know if that's what they call their move anymore. And the War Raiders are the new World Tag Team Champions, and it is because of Damian Priest costing them. 74 rating, which is absolutely fantastic. And after the match, we can see Finn fuming in the ring, Damian Priest laughing his head off as he leaves up the ramp, gets the 62 rating, and tension continuing between the former Judgment Day member and the remaining Judgment Day. Obviously, Damian Priest was kicked out by Finn Balor after his attack at SummerSlam, and Damian lost the bad blood but wasn't happy about it, so he's come back to annoy Finn a bit more. Next up, Kofi Kingston, as we saw last week, gave his Intercontinental title shot to Xavier Woods, and he wishes him luck for the match. And Woods is like, I don't need your luck for tonight. Just stay backstage out my way. 52 rating. More and more tension between the New Day. And what was scheduled for tonight, Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman were due to have another match, but they're brawling backstage before they can even get out there. They're eventually separated, and Adam Pearce tells them, right, I'm fed up of this. You two are settling this next week inside a steel cage. So that is booked in for next Monday on Raw. And surely, inside a cage, those two will be able to settle their differences. You would hope so. Gets a 62 rating, so these two definitely getting some decent ratings when they're out there. Next up, in a decent match, Bron Breakker defeats Xavier Woods in 16 minutes 58 by pinfall with a Gorilla Press Slam. And unfortunately, it was when Kofi Kingston accidentally hit Xavier Woods. Bron was dominating the match. He got a little bit of a break in the... Xavier managed to get a little bit of momentum going in his favour. Kofi Kingston came out to try and help and accidentally hits Woods. He turns round into a spear. Gorilla Press Power Slam. Bron Breakker retains the Intercontinental Championship, and Xavier Woods is furious. And after the match, Kofi is clearly devastated, trying to apologise to Xavier Woods, who just rolls out the ring, turns his back on Kofi, and makes his way up the entrance ramp as Kofi is left in the ring, just feeling incredibly sorry for what he's done. 60 rated match. 60 rated segment. It's going pretty well, and we've still got another match that hopefully will give us another good rating. Next up, we have The Miz promising to R-Truth he's going to help him tonight. Obviously, The Miz has been warned by Uncle Howdy about doing anything to R-Truth, and this is his way of trying to make up for it. He's saying, look, promise you I'm going to help you tonight. We're going to get a win under our belt, and we're going to get back our World Tag Team Championships. Next up, backstage in a 76 rated segment, Rhea Ripley attacks Liv Morgan, and she promises Liv, I'm going to make sure you lose that Women's World Championship. Obviously, Rhea no longer able to challenge Liv for the title, but she is determined to make Liv's life hell. And then back in the ring, in a decent match, 68 rating, which is quite good, the Creed brothers defeat Awesome Truth in 8 minutes 41 when Julius Creed pins The Miz after R-Truth accidentally hit a lie detector on The Miz. A miscommunication, but this time it's R-Truth that costs them the match. And after the match, Miz is furious. He goes to attack R-Truth, and the lights go out. Nikki Cross is stood in front of The Miz, and he's panicking, apologising to Nikki. But she says it's too late. The lights go back out, and The Miz is surrounded by Dexter Lumis, Eric Rowan, Uncle Howdy, and Joe Gacy, and they attack The Miz. And at the end, Uncle Howdy just drags The Miz backstage away from R-Truth. And R-Truth is looking on, terrified, but a bit confused as to what's just happened. He's not sure why the Wyatt Six have even attacked The Miz. Next up, we see Gunter and Sammy meeting backstage, and they simply give their little nods of approval to each other after the Pick Your Poison matches last week ended in Gunter saving Sami Zayn. 69 rating as they say to each other, on Saturday, may the best man win. We have another video segment just promoting the Von Erich family are coming to Monday Night Raw. That gets a 28 rating. And I believe we are into our final segments here. Not quite the final segment just yet, but what we do have is Kofi Kingston being interviewed by Kathy Kelly, and he's saying about how awful he feels about costing Woods his match. And he's like, I know it didn't look likely that Woods was going to get the win, but I still feel like I've cost him that. And just as that happens, Xavier Woods attacks Kofi Kingston. He starts pounding him with forearms to the face. He picks him up, throws him face first into a TV, which shatters around Kofi Kingston's head. Xavier Woods turns heel, and the New Day looks like it's all over. And what really tipped Woods over the edge was he was stood to listen to this interview and heard the comment of, I don't think he was going to win anyway, but I did cost him. And Woods is just feeling so disrespected by Kofi Kingston. And there we go, the New Day appears to be no more. Next up, we have Zelina Vega approaching Rhea Ripley in the women's locker room, 65 rating. And she just says to Rhea, look, I get you hate Liv Morgan. I get it. I do not want you to appear at Crown Jewel. If you come out during my match, I'm going to get purposely counted out or disqualified. This needs to be me beating Liv one-on-one. And Rhea's like, you know what? Okay, if that's what you want, go for it. But don't come crying to me if she beats you, because I'm doing what I can to help. She's going in wounded. I would come out at Crown Jewel and make sure you win. If you don't want that help, that's fine. Don't cry about it. And in our main event for the night, in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Sheamus defeats Pete Dunne in 15:08 with a brogue kick. It was a car crash match intended to be a bit crazy. It gets a 73 rating, which is absolutely fantastic. And after the match, Sheamus wins and he celebrates, but it's clear that he's been pushed to his absolute limit by Pete Dunne. So 62 rating as the show goes off the air with Sheamus celebrating, but clearly wounded. Pete Dunne has absolutely earned respect from the WWE universe, because despite the fact that he is a bad guy, it's very clear he's a blooming good wrestler, and the WWE universe love a good wrestler. And that show gets us a 63 rating, another pretty good show. It does lose its popularity in 42 regions. I'm not reading too much into that at the moment, but hopefully we should be pushing towards being a bit better. Mark Coffey, as I mentioned, injured during main event, but it's only a strained bicep. He'll be fit again next Sunday, so he's not really going to miss any ring time at all, which is good to see. And so after Raw, we've got an incident involving Carlito. He's been identified as a steroid user. He's been suspended. And what have we got in our mailbox? Drug fees, and yeah, nothing too important in there. That's absolutely fine. JBL has been fined randomly. And let's have a look. The Raw report. Feedback has been okay, although there's always a few extremists who either loved it or hated it. Nothing to read into there, really. But we are heading towards Crown Jewel. We've got a pretty good card. Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. Naomi versus Nia Jax. Sami Zayn versus Gunter. The Bloodline versus the Bloodline. And Zelina Vega versus Liv Morgan. We've got SmackDown left to go. If you're looking forward to that, please do leave a like down below. Subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.